Good morning and welcome to the Dunton Homestead. It's been a little bit since I've posted and put up a video. Been very busy with different activities. Doesn't mean we haven't been doing things around here, it just means I haven't picked up the camera when we've been doing it. My main project for today, I think, is going to be to try to move what we're trying to make a compost pile, working with the chickens, to make it more effective. Right now we're not feeling like any of it that we're doing is effective. We have the ring inside the chicken coop where we are putting all like the weeds, kitchen scraps, everything in there. They dive in, they go nuts. We also spread some around inside the coop, or the chicken run I should say. And then I have been periodically, when I'm off in the morning, coming through, raking and throwing it in there and getting it to break down, but not exactly having the results that we were hoping for. What I'm hoping for is what it would be good for the garden is actually just becoming part of the floor of the chicken run, and I don't want to be digging up the floor of the chicken run. That's not how we thought it was going to work. So right here is inside the chicken run. As you can see, we throw a lot of greenery down, weeds, plants that we pulled out that aren't toxic for them. We've thrown in here, and they've been feasting on kitchen scraps, parts of vegetables that I don't want, that we picked, that I don't necessarily want to preserve because they're not perfect or they might have been bug infested. And where the majority of it is going in here. And once a week I've been coming in, if I've been able to, and raking it up, and then starting fresh, throwing what I rake up in here. Well, I would think that by the end of the summer I would have dirt in here, I would have soil, I would have compost, workable compost, and I don't. So I'm going to try something new today. I was watching a video from the Homestead, and what they were doing is they had something very similar inside the coop, but then as it got broken down, they were removing it from the coop and putting it into a box just outside of the coop that was assembled with pallets. And then they were watering it down, and it was broken down, and it was becoming compost. I'm going to give that a try. I've already dragged one pallet over. I've got 3 more on the other side of the barn I'm going to drag over. Ideally, I think I want to get some bungee cords to attach the corners at the top and the bottom to keep them stable, but right now, because I don't have any, I'm going to do it with some rope. And then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to move this pile over and put it into the new pile, and then rake this up, put it back into the ring, and start all over. And ideally, if I could do that like every 2 weeks, thinking that maybe I could get more of it broken down into the compost that I'm hoping for. So I moved what was the chicken compost to its new spot, and right now I'm going to rake all this loose stuff up, put it in there, go get their feed this morning and oyster shells because they've been in there way too long and they're not happy. Then I will start working on building the new box out of the pallets. The chickens are fed. They're happy. They're mad because they were in there a lot longer than they normally are. They were stuck in the coop about 2 hours longer than normal. I decided to change spots for the pallet compost pile. It didn't seem like it would really make sense to have it where I originally picked it, so I just moved it over on the other side of the wood pile. Originally I was going to have it like right about here, but there is a hill here. I figured if I was going to try to have some success for it, I should maybe try and start it on a flat surface, whereas I'm going to be tying pallets together. Also, not sure if there would be enough room for the lawnmowers to get through on either side. So I just decided to dump the compost over here, and I will drag 3 more pallets over and attempt to get it all tied together. Like I said, I think it'd be easier if I had bungee cords, but I don't, which is weird. Which is totally weird because my husband's like the king of bungee cords. So one project done for today, watering it down. I guess you're supposed to do periodically. Last year, the compost pile that we started before we had the chickens, it worked pretty well as far as breaking down to a certain degree. It didn't break down entirely. It never got hot enough to kill off things like weed seed, which we paid for dearly this summer. It was just all kinds of ridiculous of how much weeding we had to do. And it also, I mean, we had volunteer plants popping up everywhere. We didn't get hot enough to even kill, like, say, a tomato that might have gotten thrown in there. So we had random tomato plants, which was fun, picking stuff that you didn't work for. But really, the idea is to try and get is good compost that's not going to grow weeds, that's not going to grow volunteer things that you don't necessarily want. So hopefully this will work this time. I'm constantly trying to find ways to save money. My the new pallet compost bin is very rudimentary in how it's put together with the rope. Rick will probably cringe. Yes, I was a Girl Scout, but rope tying badges are not something I got. It was more about cooking, sewing, and volunteering type badges I got before I dropped out. So I will order some bungee cords and then we'll tie the corners together on the top and the bottom, and then that will be sufficient for us to be able to easily take it apart and Rick can have his rope back. Today was definitely a day for overcoming fears. So last week I came down to collect eggs and I opened up the egg box and I collected all of them, and we were probably about, I don't know, say a half a dozen short than what we had been getting, and there was one hen that was sitting. So I says, all right, you can go ahead and you can finish doing your business and I'll be back. So I came back about 5-10 minutes later, and I open up the box and I go to reach, and instead of a hen sitting there on eggs, there was a snake that was coiled up in the hen box with eggs in the middle, one in the mouth. Closed it as fast as I could and went and got Rick. So digging through pallets that are piled up on the side of the garage where snakes might like to hang out, that was one, overcoming my fear. I don't have anybody to scream to come rescue me like I did with Rick when Rick was here. And then the other thing is when I went to go get rope, out of his, he has like a 5-gallon bucket up in the garage that has rope in it. And the last time I knew that he went to go get rope, a mouse jumped out at him. I don't like rodents, I don't like snakes, but I got it. I was a big girl and I got it done. So that's the big project for today, and I'm just gonna try and get caught up on other things. So be a blessing, be blessed, have a great day.